Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Salamander's Power Sword Assault build for Space Marine 2 Patch 14. Now, the Salamander's Power Sword is a very strong weapon in Space Marine 2 right now. This has the heroic perk effect down here called Nocturne's Retort. Perfect parry to empower the blade and deal 300% more damage to the next light attack in speed style. It can hold up to 6 in power stacks. The parry window is smaller. So basically this thing has a block parry window in terms of like active frames, and on top of that, you will actually get 3 empower stacks per perfect parry instead of 1 from the PTS. This weapon does a ton of damage on the light attacks in the speed style, and that will actually take your light attacks to be as strong as like a base power rake, which is pretty insane. And I actually think this one has a ton of utility for a lot of builds, because on this power sword you really don't have to build for stuff like overcharge. Instead, we get to take other options like armor reinforcement we would usually skip over on the stronger damaging power swords, and we can also pick up stuff like active attrition, and even go further with stuff like proven efficiency for both gunstrike builds and melee damage. So I actually think this one is a ton of fun, really strong in the game right now, and it is by far the best fencing power sword out of the two options. And as far as the heroic variants go, I think it is just as good as the Xenophase, if not a bit better. Now for the perk tree on this, I do start off with the perk here Armored Strength first, moving here into the perk Master of Offense. After you switch your sword combat style, you will deal 20% more melee damage for 5 seconds. The cooldown is 10 seconds. So now on the power sword, you will be swapping your sword combat style no matter what, pretty much, because the way this weapon works is that when you do a dodge, you can hold down your melee attack button to swap your style immediately into a lunging attack, and that gives you a ton of extra reach, which means this 20% buff goes off cooldown pretty much all the time. Really nice option here, and even on a Nocturne's Retort weapon like this, you will still be using the power style occasionally. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength, and down here Perpetual Strength again. Then I pick up the perk here Tranquility and Melee Onslaught for a flat 10% melee damage buff. Now, some of you might want the perk here Momentum Gain, because like, oh, light attacks, like all we want is light attack damage on this thing. Well, the flat damage buff down here is a bit better. You don't always stack light attacks up to like 30% in this game. It's only 3%, so like that's supposed to be a total of 10 attacks within like a 3-second break between them, which is really not as good as it sounds initially. And this one will buff up all of your melee damage, which is a bit better. Next perk here is Hard Target, moving here into the perk Cutting Edge, and the final perks here are Extremis Slayer, Majora's Slayer, and Terminus Slayer. And instead of the perk here Power Restoration I would usually take for double CHP recovery on power style attacks, I instead take the perk here Speed Restoration for double CHP recovery on the speed style, because you do use the speed style a lot more on this one than most power sword variants. That's pretty much all there is for the perk tree on this. For the secondary, I do take the Honorific Relic Tier Bolt Pistol. This one got a base damage buff of 15% that has boosted up its damage for both just the gun portion and also your gun strikes, because base damage buffs in this game are very strong. And for the perk tree here, I do take the perk Perpetual Precision first, moving here to the perk Headhunter, Gunstrike Reload, Increased Capacity, Headhunter again, Elite Hunter for a 50% damage buff for 10 seconds on Majoris or higher enemy executes with a melee weapon, because this is just a really strong perk for any bolt pistol. And the final perks here are Headhunter, Extended Magazine, and Divine Might. Now for the main perk tree, since we do have the luxury of skipping over stuff like Overcharge, I instead take the perk here Armor Reinforcement, Non-Finisher Gun Strikes for 1 armor segment. This makes you really tanky on the Assault class, especially against Tyranids, and the fact you're not really losing any damage on this because of that perk effect on the Salamander's Power Sword is super nice. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charge by 1. The cooldown is 90 seconds. A 90-second equipment recharge in this game has been top tier since the game came out pretty much. Equipment in this game will save your life, it will save your team, it is always going to be a top tier option. You can really take whatever you want. I mean, you could pick up Auxiliary Arsenal or Defense Mechanism, this one's just the overall strongest. Next perk here is Active Attrition. Enemies hit by damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashing take 25% more damage for 5 seconds. So in a lot of cases, you will swap out of your dodge into a lunging attack on the speed style to trigger Nocturne's Retort. So you're going to get 25% damage taken debuff applied to the enemy for 5 seconds off of that, on top of the 300% damage bonus from Nocturne's Retort. So really good synergy there. But if you want flat damage, you could pick up the perk Knowledge of the Enemy instead. Next perk here is your choice of Strategic Strikes or Proven Efficiency. I mean, both of these are good. I just prefer the melee damage off of this one for Extremis and Terminus, but having more gun strike damage, that is definitely a strong option. Next perk here is Furious Strikes. Hitting enemy with attack after a jump pack dash will restore jump pack ability charge by 1. The cooldown is 10 seconds. This perk is just god tier. I don't really care what you're using on the assault. It doesn't even matter if you don't take Wings of Flame. This perk will give you so many free gap closes, so many free jump packs. You pretty much always pick it up. It is by far like the best perk in the entire gear tree at this point, in my opinion, besides like maybe these two, but Furious Strikes, it fits into pretty much everything. Next perk here is Wings of Flame, a jump pack dash. It damages enemies on trajectory and always works as a perfect dodge and dodging an attack. I mean, the power sword speed here and also just our gun strike options like armor reinforcement fit this build perfectly. Wings of Flame has been the best build setup for the assault class for like 2 patches now, and I would also say it's just a ton of free damage against stuff like Carnifexes, you know, Lictors, and really any melee enemy in the game, including stuff like Hellbirds. Now, if you want to take Zealous Blow, you could, but power swords are not the best for this build anyways, so I do prefer this one. Next perk here is Aerial Grace. After a perfect time dodge using a jump pack dash, you'll deal 30% more damage for 10 seconds. This is just a nice free damage buff for both our melee attacks and our range attacks, and since we do have that massive modifier going on, it's worth a ton to us on this weapon. The final perk here is Commitment. A perfect time dodge using a jump pack dash restores jump pack's ability charge, because this one is just a god tier signature perk. This is pretty much the best one by default, mainly because your jump pack dash will animation cancel anything you're doing on the assault class as of like patch 12 forward, and because of that, having more jump packs is just giving you a ton of utility that just kind of power gaps the other 2 options. Now for the prestige perk options, I do take Unyielding Oath first. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable to damage for 3 seconds, moving here into the perk Fortitude for a health increase of 15%. Then I pick up the perk Practice Aim, and the final perk is of course Hammer of Wrath, because a 30% range damage reduction and no knockback for 15 seconds on a use of your ability on this class is incredible. This is another god tier perk, and it used to be over in this slot, but instead they swapped it out for Furious Strikes and put this in the prestige perk tree, and since then it has kind of like power crept Adrenaline Boost entirely, because this class has so many options to recycle its cooldown on stuff like the jump pack. So that is pretty much all there is for this build, guys. I think the Salamander's Power Sword is like super strong in the game right now. I don't even say that over and over, but this weapon is like really fun to use. It is really good. I know a lot of people are disappointed this one does not have a burn effect attached to it, but as we've seen with the Deathwatch Combi Fist, having a burn effect on your weapon doesn't always mean it's going to be good, but this weapon still hits like a truck, and hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and if you want to catch me live to ask me questions about the game or just coming out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description. Also a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. So this is the new Salamander's Power Sword for those of you just coming in or haven't seen this weapon before. This one is actually pretty fucking strong. This might actually be the strongest power sword in the game right now. It's definitely a contender. I'll say that. Definitely the best for a Wings of Flame build. Kind of fits perfectly into like an armor reinforcement build. Because you pretty much get all the damage of a non-fencing variant with that 0-frame startup and the opportunity to gun strike, and what comes out to be a very high amount of damage.
Increasing responsibility. Mark that foe before it calls for reinforcements. Their numbers are no match for our troops. Executing countermeasures. See no scum on scope. Changing magazine. Battle tower unleashed.
Multiple contacts swarming our locus. What is your status, Talassa? Executing our righteous duties, Phaedrus. Good. We have drawn their focus. Keep... Phaedrus, try again. Talassa, Combat Squad Heraton reporting. We lost Vox contact with Combat Squad Phaedrus. Do you know their status? Nothing useful. We lost contact with Phaedrus as well. We must consider our brothers lost then. Our objective is to secure the cyclonic warheads at all costs. Encountering heavy Tyranid resistance. Fully appreciated, Avatar. Stand firm and fight hard.
How's Winds of Flame versus the new Chaos Terminator? Actually pretty good, because the new Chaos Terminator, he has a lot of perfect dodgeable stuff. A lot of melee attacks. He also has very long melee combos, which inherently make this weapon, or make Winds of Flame, a decent choice. Because if you have like a 3 or 4 stack combo, you're getting like 400 free damage on them, on top of triggering buffs and gun strikes, which you can do on him entirely.
Frag grenade. Deploying shrapnel grenade. Reloading. Tyranids have Tyranids repelled, brother. I kill you.
The vessel bemoans its parasitic invaders.
Which we have to do Salamander Cape on Assault.
The wrath of Espandor itself
nice.
will avenge its crew. The swarm is led by primes.
No.
Lictor could not vanish from my sights. Inserting fresh magazine.
Behold the might of the Imperial Navy.
If only we could level these weapons at the hive infecting the ship. Activating war gear. Second wave headed toward us. Repositioning.
In Space Marine 2, what's your favorite drift? It depends on what I'm feeling.
Combat Squad Heraton reporting in. The bridge is lost.
Also, I'm as much of a sucker to like the new stuff as you guys are, so like something's brand new, it's like a new outfit piece. I'm kind of sitting there like, oh, I like that more than I would the old stuff I've been playing with.
Be advised. The cruiser's crew
I'm
managed
cute
to
things that are
execute
fine.
security protocols before they were overrun by the Xenos brood.
How does D-Sword work? I'm just overthinking it. I mean, it works exactly as it sounds, where you get a block, you perfect parry, you get 3 charges, and then each speed style attack will use one of those charges for 300% damage bonus on that attack.
Our orders are clear. Advance.
This sword actually good? Yeah. Does it do a frontal cone on dash attacks? I mean, as much as all the other ones do.
With the main console in front of you to bypass the security protocols.
I heard you love the wolf helmet. I see Slander still in the air.
The lift platform is in transit. Arrival pending. We descend to bring light to the darkness. Attention boarding parties. We have confirmation that Combat Squad Phaedrus is lost. I need a mission status update.
When do you think they'll fix a new boss? Probably a hot fix, because he's kind of like unplayable right now, so I would imagine they're going to hot fix him.
Squad Octavio reporting in. Cyclonic armament secured for now. Your presence of Xenos permeates report on his condition when you arrive.
Do you think some of the other new heroics will get buffs if no one uses them? Almost certainly. The one that really needs a buff is the heroic Omniscient Axe, but they have been, like, for whatever reason, ignoring that one for ages, it feels like, so we'll see.
And I'll give you some time to prime the armaments. When you reach the reactor's cooling console, disable the emergency blast shields.
Shit on. Yeah, fucking nerd.
Never lost sight of just how they seem to chop our rivers with their dead. Alien firebomb eliminated. Arming melter charge.
Emergency blast shields retracting. Warning. Coolant rods exposed. Talasa, I need you to disable the entire cooling array. Concentrate fire on the exposed cooling rods. Target
Say the heroic bolt pistol feels way better now. It was not like an epic spot last time.
elements of the cooling rod array are clogged. Vile filth.
For sure, one ordeal on console is currently bugged and doesn't count. Go figure. Something broken in a Space Marine 2 patch.
Identify blockages.
I don't know why I did that. But, you know, something interesting about Space Marine 2 is it feels like a lot of the time in the PTS, they just leave bugs in. They don't give a fuck to change for the PTS. But they just dump out whatever build they had. It's not like really a proper release in a lot of cases. Because you're supposed to test the weapons, but in the PTS last time, the weapons were, like, unusable. Or, like, genuinely non-functional. Like, this one was non-functional at all, and their perk descriptions were hidden. So they didn't tell you that this one did a 300% bonus damage on light attacks as an actual number until this patch. So when you're testing out in the PTS, how am I supposed to give feedback to Saber on a number I don't even know?
Identify blockages and remove
I was like, figure it out, kid. I just felt like my best thing would be like, yeah, it feels pretty good, I guess.
Executing countermeasures. Rearming. Could prove useful.
The expeditious termination is bugged on console. That sucks. That was actually really easy to do though, so I'm sure once they fix it, people will have a fairly easy time.
Munitions here.
One step closer to the reactor overheating. Registering extreme temperature fluctuation. Plasma cooling efficacy severely reduced. Excellent, Talasa. You will need to repeat the same process at the second array. Access granted to the bridge console.
Dignity of love crawling beneath us. Increasing response severity. It dug its own grave.
What's the build for Assault? I'll show it in a sec. It'll also be posted pretty soon too. Are greatswords when? They haven't confirmed greatswords will be coming.
Precisely what we needed.
Well, they changed their plans to a one-handed Thunderhammer as the next one, so it says a lot. Overall, you know, for a smaller patch, I think this patch is great.
Hostile backup.
There's actually a lot of interest in this patch compared to the other small ones they've done. I haven't checked the player numbers, but I'm pretty sure this patch was actually bigger than Reclamation was. Also, a little fun fact, guys. Did you guys know that Reclamation
Their numbers are no match for ours.
was the longest patch period we've ever had in this game? Since, like, launch.
Delta charge planted. Raiding improved fast. Battle tower handling. Synaptic servants slaughtered. Repositioning. Rearming. Altitude favors us. Executing countermeasures.
For one in the Rage of Air, I just did that for the 30% cooldown there. This guy shooting you at point blank is fucking annoying though.
Readying next volley.
The new heroic bolt pistol buff feels great. This thing got power crept super hard in the last year.
Inserting fresh magazine.
Yeah, I was playing a bit of PvP this morning. It's actually more fun than I remembered it being. Actually, a lot more fun.
Take
Like, that's
all
probably
units
what I
back.
would be playing in this game. I was just chilling in it at this point.
A most impressive fencing, brothers.
I don't know why I did that. I don't have the ammo. Is your keybind for melee just default? Never thought I'd ever hear you say that. I mean, I still think the PvP is shit in terms of content, but like, it's actually... I never thought the actual, like, fundamental mechanics of it are bad. I think they're fine. I just think it's an undercooked mode, which I think is just true.
Here.
This paid comment was brought to you by Saber. No, guys, it's really me. It's a word of me. What are you trying to say? That Saber's giving kickbacks? I don't think so. That was cool.
Our adversaries are keen to lose it.
Right, well,
No rods remain active.
that a little bit,
Temperature
but
set critical level. Plasma reactor shutting down to prevent catastrophic detonation.
as far as always a pain in the ass by yourself. Ooh, Guardian Relic. It's like a Jolly Rancher in the middle of my armor, or the middle of my map.
Proceed to the decks below and force the plasma reactors to overheat.
Instead of locking stuff behind PvP, they should have made it more desirable to play. Listen, you ain't getting any disagreements from me. If you want people to play your mode, I don't think the plan of getting people to play your mode should be built around forcing them to, because it's kind of what it is now.
Talassa, have you received word from our brother in Combat Squad Heraton? His approach vector should have taken him through the technical underbelly. These corridors bear the scars, but we have heard nothing from our brother. Understood. Be advised, we remain under heavy Tyranid assault. Heat from the plasma reactors will roast them in their foul carapaces. This is ill-advised, Talassa. If you do not break the reactor to detonate, the cyclonic
Oh, that's actually incredibly disappointing. Well, you know what?
Combat Squad
Perish.
Obsidio will redouble our efforts to draw the Tyranids away from your position instead. Understood, Octavio. You honor the chapter.
I'm not watching PvP, not a fan of them forcing... I'm not against watching PvP, not a fan of them forcing cosmetics into it, though. I mean, it's fun. It's an arena shooter. Reminds me of Gears a little bit. It's kind of like a mix of, Gears and some other games. It is nice to see a PvP game mode that actually has melee intertwined with, range again. I haven't seen that in a lot of games. I mean, I've seen it, you know. You have Battlefield do that, but it's not like a dedicated melee system, you know?
Tyranids have no right for tactics. Altitude favors the swift. Watch out for Ravener tunnels. Melta installation done.
That's actually tilting.
Toxins cloud my sight. Executing countermeasures. Ended the Ravener's ravenous appetite. Alien bioform eliminated.
For a question, who went pause in their PvP matches? So I had 2 PvP matches that were super easy because I think it was just a bunch of scrubs, and then I had one where like there was an obvious sweat in who's like max level and has been playing the entire time. You're like, okay. So that's Master Chief, right? And there are a bunch of like little Marines running around. Yeah, the best way, I've always described it like this. I know a lot of you guys have played Titanfall, so PvP games at this point in their life cycle, this is true for Battlefront 2 as well, especially one of my favorite PvP games or multiplayer shooters ever. At this point in their life cycle, it's kind of like you have your sweat players, which are the pilots, and then everyone else is a grunt. Everyone else is just like an NPC bot running around, like they are there to get farmed. And then occasionally you run into the map and you're like, holy shit, it's him. It's the guy. And then Elijah Wood just like beats the shit out of you. I don't want to waste my shots here. I shoot the ceiling and nothing else.
Activating war gear.
Let's see what you summoned on me. What reinforcements have you summoned? I guess I could have just done that initially, huh? Frodo Baggins is bagging on people in PvP, dude. Yeah, why do you think they hired Elijah Wood to be the guy in Spy Kids 3? Because Frodo, they'll call him Frodo Baggins, he doesn't pack you up. I've always found it kind of funny how like how memeable the Lord of the Ring character names are. FGG, would you play PvP for one whole day if Saber sponsored it? Well, if they sponsored it, then like, dude, I'd probably do a lot more than play one PvP game for an entire day. Are we talking like 24 hours straight? I mean, really, like, it doesn't really matter if Saber sponsored it. The question is really more so, would you play PvP if somebody paid you? And I think the answer to most things in life is, would you do X if somebody paid you? Yes. The question is just how much. How much would it take for me to play PvP all day? All day long. Are we talking like 10 hours? Can you give me an example? "24 hours straight." That would have to be a lot, dude. Yeah, I can't really think of like a lot of things I would actually do for an entire day. 24 hours straight. Not only is that like incredibly unhealthy for your body to be up that long or in a chair. So, gotta take that into consideration. Also, by the end, you're gonna be playing like dog shit. It's just like the last like 12 hours, the last like 4 to 5 hours maybe, are just gonna be you getting mopped. So I gotta take that into consideration, you know, the embarrassment.
Synaptic servants slaughtered.
Hour stream, you've done 24-hour streams on the past, yeah, but like, I'm not just doing one thing in those. Yeah, I would. They sponsor me enough, sure. Or if anybody did. But I think that's most people. Like, I don't know, guys. How long would you play a game for 24 hours straight if somebody paid you like an acceptable amount of money? I think the answer is yes, right? Especially considering most of the games I've played in my life I've played for free, so it's really just yes, it's I said I've been playing PvP for free since launch, so fuck yeah, I'll do it. See, yeah, exactly. What I mean.
Attention. Authorized personnel only beyond this point. Provide sufficient ocular scan authorization in order to proceed. Security protocols dictate that only claimed principal servitors have entry authorization. Locate the leader servitor so we may scan the eyes.
Tyrannies have no hiding tactics. Bravers will sweat.
Faith, brothers. One of these deceased servitors has the
I
authorization.
missed the whip swing. Fuck. Whatever. Do the old-fashioned way now.
Numbers are no match for our
Oh,
brothers. My vision dark.
we got stun-locked on that one. First hit staggered us. Second hit. That's the frustration of getting ping-ponged in this game. If you don't have no knockback active and you get hit a single time with some of those attacks, you're just dead. No armor, no problems, dude. The old-fashioned way is getting stun-locked.
There must be some remains we neglected to scan.
That's the shit that's gonna drive. That's the shit that drives a new player insane in this game. Like, imagine you're just fucking fooling on these guys, right? Strutting on them, and then just suddenly they just spin attack you once, and you get ping pong bounced around, you die instantly. And new players would look at that and go like, "What the fuck?" and never play the game again.
One last act of service.
We stand triumphant over the tyrannies.
Servitors, we have one last task for you.
It's always funny to see these guys just like talking to themselves in this game. We stand triumphant over the tyranny. It's just like, yeah. And like, imagine you sitting in an empty room after killing all the guys, and you're just like, haha, I did it.
Munitions here.
Yes, this servitor's eyeballs grant us access.
I promise you the reason they gave this thing 3 empower stacks per perfect parry instead of 1 for the PPS is because they realized the parry bug. That means your parries don't work sometimes. Makes the weapon kind of frustrating as fuck to use on the PPS. You know, dude, for the pussy. To gain stacks, you only be on speed mode. No, you can gain stacks in any mode. You just have to actually use them. You have to be in your speed style. And the way to tell if you're in speed style, by the way, in case you're wondering, if you have like this massive sheen around your blade, you're in power style. If you're in speed style, it's a lot less vibrant.
Access granted. To the plasma reactor.
Is this game available for offline mode? Absolutely.
The reactor and its guardians.
Hello, I am a wargamer. French. Hello, French.
That reactor must be destroyed. Honor our nations. Honor our chapter. Keep your eyes up.
Altitude favors the swift. Tyrannies have no mind for tactics.
Here it comes, brothers. It lashes out.
Executing countermeasures. Gaining improved margins.
Thank you. Dude, Sword Warriors in their block. The thing.
Alien bioform eliminated.
Okay. I like you can fit in these speed styles between their parries here. A lot of damage. You know, when you just say, like, oh, X weapon does as much as a power rake, but, like, that's cool and all, but the real power is that it does as much damage as a power rake, but it's also way easier to fit into it axe strings than or parry strings than
Activating war gear.
power rake can be. Oh, he canceled me out of my dash attack there. That's not. My power style is so good. Every power style attack on a Hormigaunt will set them up into a gunstrike. It's also more reliable in the awkward parry phasing these guys love doing to you. I bet this kill this guy before he can do anything about it.
We killed one pride, and its companion's fury magnifies. Perhaps one pride is twice as vicious as two.
Definitely.
They sully this ship no more. Now, engage the console to cripple the reactor. And Talassa, when those magnetic stabilizers stop, prepare for rapid egress. Be advised, the gyroscopic containment shielding prevents catastrophic plasma dispersal. Plasma cores are now exposed. Caution advised. Reactor critical, Talassa. Disengage.
I still can't understand the attack rotation on that sword. I have a full guy in the power sword.
Talassa, we're tracking your
If you are curious.
Montevideo and Heriton leader already on board. Our brothers prevailed.
Oh, I didn't watch that one yet. I actually say it's probably one of the best guys I've ever put on my channel. It's definitely one of the ones I put the most effort into, so I should answer most of your questions about that weapon. Or this weapon, in this case. But for the specific Salamander one, I mean, the Salamander one is just an offshoot. There's nothing really different about this one other than the fact that this is speed style attacks. But I also have a guide for that in the channel. This weapon's not very complicated. All it is perfect parry enemy. Alright, well. Perfect parry enemy, get three stacks per parry. Each stack gives you 200% bonus damage on a speed style attack. Exactly as it sounds. FTG is one of the best guides. Quote FTG, if I said it's one of the best guides on my channel, I just said it's one of the ones I put the most effort into, which is true. So it's one of the best in my opinion on my channel.
If not for your valor,
Listen, we live in a world where the original Power Sword guides for this game were like, take intimidating aura, that's all they said. Three parries, swap to light and attack and repeat, pretty much. Or you can just be in the light already, speed style.